Hello. Thank you, Rich. All right, we're going to start it. Get ready to start it here. The first thing we're going to do is pledge allegiance to the flag. To stand this. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For as long as you do it for you.
Reverend Betty Russ.
Me.
Does she leave?
No, I'm here.
Would you lead us in a small prayer to get started?
Father God, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this gathering. We thank you for the opportunity to safely come together and join hands and move about improving the communities in which we live. We ask now that this celebration of the labors that have been given to grow our communities be acknowledged in your name. We pray these things. Amen and thank God.
Amen. Thank you. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, this is an annual event that we celebrate with the
That's right, that's what I said. You're right. You're right.
the winner. All of it?
Just one verse.
That's, we're really doing a time constraint now. So, we're going to go with the Black African.
Is every voice and sing, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Praising the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
All right. Thank you, Rich. Not the idea of cutting dollars or something like that.
Look at that.
Right now, what I want to do is try to dabble over to Steve Goin. He's putting on a magnificent program, and we will appreciate you, Steve.
Thank you.
Now, by the way, is there anyone in here who is not a member? Well, you're ashamed to say that you're not a member, but we're going to make a way to find out. So, yeah, please, if you're not a member, we're trying to get you involved. All right, Steve.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Well, it's been quite a Black History Month, hasn't it? Lots of fabulous things. So, I have just some logistics that I want to go over before I do my official welcome, and then we'll have greetings from several people. First, if you haven't had your cake and punch, this is the time to do it. We have to end this meeting, the building closes at 8:30. So part of my job today is going to get us out here on time. So if you ever hear me do this, that means I love you. And we're going to move along. So that doesn't, we're not shaming you. This means we love you and we don't want to get in trouble because this is a fantastic venue for us with easy parking for us. So we want to make sure that we keep that. Right up here and to your left, you'll find bathrooms if you need them. And I want to recognize, is Wes here in the house? Wes? Hi. Everyone look at Wes in the back. He's waving. I want to point out Wes because he has been videotaping the most marvelous events all over the peninsula. Can you tell them what your email or your
The channel is called John Doe 13K, JOHN space DOE 13K on YouTube.
Right. So all these times, like he's recorded all events for just about all events for Black History Month here, the All Black Gala, the Super Saturday, and this event. So I wanted to point him out. And also, we're Rory is here with the census folks. So can you tell them what you're doing here? And
hi. So, we are promoting awareness upcoming before National Census Day to kind of promote awareness of what this is, particularly among hard-to-count populations, of which CSUMB is one. So we are just trying to put out there that the census is going to be undergoing over the next month or so, before we start setting out enumerators. So I'm just here volunteering with the department to put that out there. I have a couple of informational sheets if you have any questions, and I'd be happy to take any other questions that you might have.
okay. So see him at any point. Normally I have a speech. I don't. People have been asking me all day why I'm on a cane since I'm in here. So I want to let everyone know, because I know there are people that don't know me, but there are also people that care about me in the room. And I've had some real health challenges this month. In the middle of Black History Month, when I've got so much to do, it's really annoying. But some of the medications that I've been on pushed me into full-blown diabetes suddenly. And so I'm like, my body's different, the medicines that I'm on are different, so I'm a little loopy, and I've been busy. So anything that goes out today, it's on me. I'm not going to point this person out, but I want people to know there's a person here in the room that has supported me just amazingly. My closest friend, Philip Lorenz, has been staying with me, and for the last month, he is how I've been able to get here and do the things that I need to do. And so I just really want to thank him, but I think he wants you to look at him or anything. So, but there's someone in the room that's really good.
When I was making the announcement earlier, I forgot Danny Bakewell is here in the house. Danny's going to speak briefly close to the end and let you see what the Bakewell Company is offering to this area here, especially the new shopping center, new hotels, and things of this nature. So, please, we're going to save some time for Danny because I know that's going to be a lot of questions. But this is going to be an ongoing conversation. Now I'm talking about over the next 3 to 6 months, we will be having Danny all over the place. All right, thank you.
Good to see you. Okay, Black Lives.
Matter.
Black Lives.
Matter.
Black Lives. Matter. Okay, you've heard me do this one, but I'm going to do it in reverse. Repeat after me. Big power, big membership.
Big membership.
Big power.
Big power.
Little membership.
Little membership.
Little power.
Little power.
No membership.
No membership.
No power.
No power.
So we no longer have an NAACP at CSUMB. So that means we have no membership. So that means we effectively have no power. And I want to bring this up to everyone because we are diminishing as a people here in this county. And it's not just that we're diminishing. As we diminish, the connections that we have to each other are diminishing. And so I just want to say that we're at a place where this is having some real world effects. So we've gone from 30% maybe in Seaside to 6 or 7, some people are saying 5 now. In 2015, I think we admitted 131 freshman Black students. In 2019, we admitted 31. The NAACP requires 25 paid members. So we don't have enough to sustain an NAACP. So I want not just our Black folk in the room, but I want everyone in the room, and particularly elected officials, to be thinking that this is a serious issue and that it's affecting the quality of lives, right? Because what we were able to do with the college chapter was every year we would send about 2 people to the national convention, which we're not able to do right now. But we're thinking about it. And so one of the things that we're coming up with is I'm going to encourage anyone who can afford it in the room to sponsor some college students to join the adult branch. And here's the idea. What we're thinking now is rather than have to have all the infrastructure that it requires and all the paperwork and so forth to have an independent college chapter, to have it as a committee of the BSU, but have them allied with the Monterey County Branch in the hopes, as they did when we first started this, that the branch would be willing to send 1 or 2 to the national convention. So that's some of our thinking. The other thing that I wanted to say was that it's so important for us to preserve and recognize the history that we already have, and to be proclaiming that history and letting people know how vibrant this community is right now. The more we let people know that, the more they realize that there's something already built here to come to, the more we'll be able to revitalize our communities. I'm doing some things with under Paula Carter and her Super Saturday. We started a couple things from the community forums that she started. One is the Monterey Black Folks Calendar. So raise your hand if you've heard, because this is brand new for a month. Raise your hand if you've heard anything about the Monterey Bay Black Folks event calendar. Okay, so, a good number. I'm going to send out, Karsha, will you get that tablet right there? I'm going to send through the audience a tablet, and you can sign up to get the, just put in your name and your email, and you can get, and I will send you the Monterey Bay Black Folks calendar. We also are going to have bi-monthly town and gown events that are going to follow between CSUMB and the community, and so this will be a sustained relationship with CSUMB and our Black communities. And then, of course, you can sponsor a student. We're not going to do a lot of speeches today. It's mostly just going to be us honoring each other. So next up, we have greetings from Darshelle Burnett. She's the president of Black Students United.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Darshelle Burnett, and I am the current president of Black Students United here at CSUMB. Black Students United is very pleased and honored to honor the late but great Joe Watson, who was the former president of the NAACP Monterey County Branch. And he's also a civil rights and civil labor rights champion, as well as an African American advocate. Please excuse me, I'm a little bit under the weather right now, so I'm trying to come through. We also salute all the honorees that will be honored here tonight, and all the new faculty members that are new to the campus, and we welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we have greetings from the African American Heritage Faculty Staff Alliance. Rhonda.
Good afternoon. And welcome. I didn't know I was going to do everything. Our African American Alliance group here on campus is a really strong group of African American staff and faculty that are working to make sure that our African American students and all students on campus have a sense of belonging. So we're working really hard on doing that. And one of the things we're doing is working on making sure we hire a good provost. I don't know if you know that we are in the process of hiring, so we're really involved in that and hoping that we get someone that will represent our students in our campus and the vision that we hope to see on campus. So thank you for coming.
And finally, we have greetings from the President's Cabinet. This is Dr. Brian Corpening, the Vice President of Inclusive Excellence.
Good evening. Welcome, students, faculty, staff, but most importantly, community members. Thank you for being here, but also thank you for your advocacy, your hard work, and your struggle to make this your university. So welcome, and thank you for coming. And it's more important about the NAACP 100 years or so after its founding that it's still relevant today, even more important. Stephen's right in terms of us not having a campus chapter. That doesn't mean that the need for advocacy, our desire for advocacy, and even when necessary, our desire for agitation is still there. So we thank you for being here tonight, and we thank the honorees who are here in terms of their service and sacrifice. Enjoy the cake and punch. But also, thank you for being there for us, and thank you for making this university possible. Thank you.
Oh, ADHD is real. All right, okay. Let's see what's next. Yes. Josh Stewart's remarks, President.
I want to thank Steve for all the work that he put together to make this work. Now, some time ago, I think maybe 25 years ago, before any of this was built here, I think a group was brought together by the city of Hellenic to discuss the fact of putting a university here, replacing some of the students, replacing some of the military students on the side. And since that time, we have grown tremendously. We have brought in quite a few different curriculums. Hopefully that we can go ahead and start gearing toward manufacturing to an extent, or something that we can get high technology into this area here. We want to thank all of you, the participants. I don't see, I think Betty, I don't know if any of you was in there or not, but the people that was involved in these original meetings. Jealous family, I think he was involved in that too. But in any event, we managed to go through some bad times and some good times, and I think that the good times begin to be in front of us. So, anyway, with Danny coming in, and we're talking about the idea of people that live locally can get tuition free. It's something that being preached now by some of the candidates running for the presidency. But we want to make sure that our kids can get an education and they'll be right here at home. And the idea is for them to stay here. So with that in mind, I'd like for all of you executive board members that make these things possible for us from the NAACP, Chapter 10 board members. If you raise your hand, please. Speaking of, I didn't know Mel was in the house because Mel was one of the originators back when we just got a chance to get this thing off the ground. So Mr. Mel Mason too. And every meeting that I have been a spokesperson at, I cannot forget a neighbor and a person that put so much work into the educational type training to make sure that our kids have a competitive edge when they go out there. And I know she's not here tonight, but Paula, I think is somebody we all should be very, very proud of. I think at this time I'm supposed to give an award to
Our mayor is in the house, and I think we should acknowledge him. The mayor.
Mary Ann, I'm so sorry for that. You notice this guy's about 6'6". And when he sits down, he folds up. So he folds and he stands up every time. So sorry about that. But anyway, I want to welcome you to this annual event. And what we're striving to do right now is bring our youngsters into fold where they will at least have a competitive chance out there. So having said that, and I want to make sure that I reemphasize that we are trying to get everybody that's not a member to join. So please, pick up an application for your league, and we'll make sure that somehow we can get it, get you involved. Thank you very much.
And now, speaking of students, we have our keynote speaker, Darshell Burnett, President of Black Students United.
Good evening. Once again, my name is Darshell Burnett, and I'm honored and pleased to be here with you all tonight in the presence of such distinguished leaders in our campus community. I currently serve as the Black Students United President of CSUMB, and I've been able to see how our community on campus has been impacted since a young age. CSUMB has been in my family actually since 2006 when my sister was an auditor here, and I've been able to see the campus grow as she grew herself, and actually she got her love here at CSUMB and got married, and now we've been together for nearly 12 years. Black Students United has been on the CSUMB campus for over 20 years, and during that time we have developed scores of student leaders, put on hundreds of events, and supported many students. Over the years, we have been supported by staff and in faculty advisors, including Ms. Mel Mason, Asaya Guillory, I was going to pronounce her name, Ms. Paula Carter, Ms. Kiana Rich, current advisors, Shanika Jones, and Daniel Summerhill, who's present tonight. Every year, we support Black History Month programming, including events like All Black Gala and Jamboree and this NAACP BSU branch meeting. This year, we've also supported our 11th annual Jamboree, which consisted of bringing Black culture into the dining commons here, as we had soul food, music, and fellowship. And in terms of tonight's event, this collaboration between NAACP and BSU began back in 2012, where we saw a need to develop student leadership and encouragement in academic success for our Black students here at CSUMB. Black Students United has been going on through the works of many individuals who are dedicated to Black excellence here at campus. In January 2012, Stephen Goings, who was a current BSU, who had been a BSU member just 2 years earlier when he was undergrad here, had found out that a man named Ben Jealous was the president and CEO of the NAACP and was deemed a local hero. We'll be speaking at the NAACP's life membership meeting. He was seeking an opportunity, and Stephen proposed that the executive committee about starting a college chapter. The idea was approved, and then it turned into this bigger movement for him at CSUMB. Black Students United was currently under the leadership Kimberly Shivers, who collaborated with the CSU students during that time to put on the successful event. And the NAACP at CSUMB was then born. Black Students United mostly focused on community building at the time and cultural belonging, while the NAACP at CSUMB focused on civil rights and voter registration and voter participation. And of course, we collaborated on many events throughout the years. Now with Black students enrollment low and to sustain a separate chapter on the NAACP on campus, we are glad to return to our role as the host of the 9th annual branch meeting here at CSUMB. And we're currently still thinking of creative ways to keep the spirit of the NAACP in mind on campus. In continuation, I'd like to acknowledge the history and legacy of Black students here on the CSUMB campus, with Black graduation being one of the oldest affinity groups that has taken place on the CSUMB campus since the 25 years of history that CSUMB has had. Black graduation is still the highest attended graduation on campus, having it taking place on the first commencement day, and it's really a spectacular event to see, because you get to see all the Greek life there, and you get to see all the families, and you feel the love in the room. However, with our student population depleting here, we're currently 4% of the university, which is a very low number. We have created and maintained roles and on committees and on other events and created events to try to keep up our Black excellence here on campus. With some of those initiatives being the Black People Meet, which helps foster mentorship between students and faculty here on campus in hopes of creating those long-lasting relationships of having mentors who look and feel and think like you. And having other initiatives such as the Research Collaborative that was started by Dr. Vanessa Littleton and Dr. Dennis Crombie, and among other faculty members like Antonio Robinson, where we are able to research Black excellence and research Black belongingness on campus, and that work is currently being done with student researchers as well. And as a student leader, I find that it's important for us to take a space where students like me and like you all may not be represented in. And during my time here at CSUMB, I've noticed that there's a lack of consistency with supporting our Black students, because there are not as many Black faculty as there needed to be. And this year, for one of my goals, I want to leave CSUMB. One of my goals this year is to leave CSUMB having cultivated better systems for our students to become student leaders and to become more successful when they leave here. So this year, this Black Students United has implemented a junior executive board to help foster and create these meaningful experiences so that they don't have to start over. They have more established relationships with the faculty and staff here on campus. And my hope is that this foundation will create ease for the future generations here at CSUMB so that we can provide them the tools and the necessary information for the success and continuation of their own legacies and for the leaders before them. And tonight's event is an example of that part of the legacy, as we honor the individuals who have made impacts on our community and have the students who are in this room and the future honors who are in this room be able to look at these leaders that are going to be presented upcoming and get inspiration and be determined to reach their goals, because the people that were honored tonight have met their goals. So I do want to thank everyone who's being honored here, and thank you all for coming tonight.
Let me give this fabulous student leader just another round of applause. So we have, hand me those. We have some, so one of the things that we like to do, and will you click the next thing? One of the things that we really have started doing with the event is recognizing, so every year we have the pleasure, of recognizing new staff and faculty hire. So I'm going to have Darcy over here, and do I have one other student? So here are the swag, and here is something that we're going to give them from the Alliance. And I have some certificates of appreciation. Somebody give me let me use your here. First I want to read these. I don't know how to use a cane. This is vexing me. Hello. So these are some of our new staff and faculty hires over the last year. She's not with us today, but Christian Pace is the head women's basketball coach here at CSUMB, where she was named the 7th head coach in the program history and serves as the first African American coach in the program. CJ is an Atlanta, Georgia native who joined the CSUMB community from Swainsboro, Georgia, where she served as the winningest women's basketball coach in East Georgia State, California history. While there, she was named 2017 GCAA Coach of the Year, helped more than 13 women receive full or partial scholarships to continue their education and play collegiate basketball, coached multiple all-conference players, and one Player of the Year, and the highlight of her time was a 100% graduation rate. A graduate of Paula College 07, the University of South Carolina, where she got her BS in sociology, and in 17 received her master's in sports management and athletic administration. She's not here, so we're going to applaud for CK. And then with us tonight, Daniel B. Summerhill is an assistant professor of poetry, social action, and composition studies at California State University, Monterey Bay. He is the author of Divine, forthcoming, an original poetry collection that was a semi-finalist for the Charles B. Wheeler Poetry Prize. He has received the Sharon Olds Fellowship and was nominated to Everpedia's 30 Under 30 list. Daniel Samuel, coming down. Welcome to CSUMB. And welcome to the Black community. Marvelous. Okay. And next, is Jackie in the house? I didn't see her. Is Jackie here? Okay, we're going to read about Jackie Smith. She was an MSW student, as was I. She is now the coordinator of community health engagement, formerly known as the Chinatown Community Learning Center. Jackie earned her bachelor's degree in collaborative health and human services and her master's in social work at CSUMB. Prior to joining CSUMB, Jackie was the lead organizer, while she was here actually, for the Monterey Women's March in 2017 and 2018, which was the biggest social justice event we ever had here at CSUMB, and I know that some of the people in the room were here. That was Jackie's idea, and she got all that started. So a big round of applause for Jackie Smith. Also with us today, Remy Rondon Jackson. In June 2019, she relocated from New York City to join the Department of Social Work team here at CSUMB, where she is currently the MSW Field Education Coordinator. For more than 25 years, Dr. Rondon Jackson held leadership positions in mental health agencies, prisons, homeless shelters, and universities. Most of Dr. Rondon Jackson's roles dictated that she develop partnership with community agencies to enhance and augment the services provided by the organization. She earned her master's in social work from Hunter College and her doctorate of philosophy from NYU, and she is the proud mother of 2 amazing adults. Renee Rondon Jackson, welcome to CSUMB. As well. Okay. Let's see, I think. Is Camilla here today? No? Okay, so I'm going to just just read one last one. Dr. Camilla Mahid is a mental health therapist, clinical academician, and internationally engaged consultant on inclusivity and contemplative pedagogy and practice. After 15 years of teaching at Howard University in Washington, D.C., she has recently joined the faculty at California State University in Monterey Bay as a professor of social work. Drawing from her decades of contemplative practice, clinical training, and social justice leadership, Dr. Mahid engages practitioners in experiencing wonder, humor, and insight through transforming oppressive patterns and deepening relationships. So a round of applause for Dr. Mahid. So welcome all staff and faculty. Okay, and next up I think we have some awards to give out. So now we're going to move to presenting to the honorees. And if MEChA is here, Josh Stewart is going to present an award to this student organization, MEChA.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Pat Spencer. I'm the Secretary of the Monterey County NAACP. It is so good to see all of you here today, and we thank you. Josh has asked that I do this presentation. And this is to the, forgive me if I don't pronounce it correctly, MEChA. To MEChA Day CSUMB. MEChA Day CSUMB was founded in 2014 to create Chicanics, Latinx unity in which educational, cultural, political, and social empowerment is used to educate and liberate. I had to look this up, actually, I called my friend. Nuestra gente. Did I pronounce it correctly?
You're doing good.
Thank you. We will reflect on our history, celebrate our achievements, and take the risks needed for a better future. The Residents Not Revenue demonstration was created after word on campus spread of a new $800 winter housing fee was implemented, which in the past years was $0. This would affect many of our residents, including those who are former foster youth, international students, students without a safe place to go home to, and students who need to stay over the break to continue supporting themselves financially for the following semester. MEChA Day CSUMB worked in collaboration with representatives from the Service Learning Institute and associated students to give CSUMB students a space to express their concerns about how this new fee would affect them. The following day, an email was sent out to all residents that the winter housing fee would be waived. We students believe this is a true testimony to the power of advocating for those whose voices aren't being heard, and to the impact we can have as students united amidst injustice. And I think that is absolutely beautiful. Our young adults, look what they've done already. I would like to read the officers. Again, forgive me if I mispronounce. Andrea Soto, Ricky Watanescu, what she said. Susana Contreras, Geraldo Ramos, Maria Castello, Elizabeth Vasquez, Eva Burnell, Eula Trabanino, David Ledesma, and Anna Gonzalez. So let's give these young adults. What we would like to do is present this award, if I can have one of the officers, one of the members.
They're all there.
We would like to present this certificate of acknowledgement to MEChA of CSUMB. Congratulations with the resident not revenue, working in unity for your students, making sure they continue to be heard. Thank you so very much.
As I said, I didn't have time to write scripts and stuff like that this time around because I've been feeling it and I've been busy. But I have the distinct honor of giving out the next award. And this award is for Mr. Matt Murphy. Now, Mr. Matt Murphy was the final president of the NAACP at CSUMB. And he did a tremendous job. And it was just when the membership had really crashed. And so his first time here as a president, I think in a very public place, was at the 8th annual event. And I don't know how many people said to me, "Who is that white guy who's the president of the NAACP?" Right? Which reminds us something so important about the NAACP. The NAACP has always been an integrated organization. It is for Black people. So you can be Black people, or you can be any other kind of people, but if you're for Black people, this is the organization for you. And it is so important that we have these marvelous allies. And so we are presenting Mr. Matt Murphy with the Social Justice and Ally Award for your allyship and your leadership. Thank you so much, Mr. I insist that you have some words for us.
You didn't tell me that I was going to have to speak a little bit. I actually just want to say thank you, especially to Stephen Goings, who was always an amazing advisor, taught me through different things, to Vanessa, who was also another one of my advisors, and to Professor Sinha, who's scooched down back there. And I did actually want to hit on, I'm going to grandstand a little bit. I want to hit on something Darshell talked about. We do have a problem here at CSUMB when it comes to, Darshell. We do have a problem here at CSUMB when it comes to representatives in the classroom, when it comes to professors that actually match the student body that is coming here. And for any of the students that are here, keep pushing to actually get that changed. To anyone that is out there that is able to help, continue helping with that, as I know that you all will. And thank you very much.
And next we'll be giving out an award for Ms. Jeniece Smiley.
Thank you, Jeniece, are you out there?
I am.
Oh, okay. I had an opportunity to,
Point the mic to your mouth.
Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay, I had the opportunity to work with some of these young ladies from doing an event, and Matt did such a magnificent job on coming down and pitching in and really outdoing himself. In fact, he was the youngest one, so he had to do the most. So we really appreciate you, Matt. And getting back to Jeniece, and to the young ladies that belong to the Black United organizations, we are proud of you. We are really, really proud of you. And what we're trying to do is make your life a little bit better. And hopefully that you can pass that on too. And we will be constantly coming out here to make sure that anything that we can do, we're going to be holding our hands out to try to ensure that you get those areas. Jeniece Smiley was graduating from, will be graduating from California State University, Monterey Bay, spring of 2020, with a bachelor's degree. What we say this is kinesiology. What is that?
Sportsman.
Oh, absolutely. Understandable. Ms. Smiley became immediately involved in leadership around the issues of diversity and identified in her very first semester at California State University when she joined the Honor Cross Country Center intern program. She served as the dialogue and cultural enrichment intern. During her second and third year, she served as vice president and president, respectively, of Black Student United, encouraging many students to become active leaders on campus. She also served as summer orientation leader in the 2018-2019, and followed 2018, she was hired at California State University Student Housing Residential Life as a residential advisor. As an RA. Now returning as an RA in her final academic year, Ms. Smiley, continue to empower and provide safe space for students as the RA for the African heritage scholars living and learning in the community. At graduation, she granted use of kinesiology degree to coach, mentor, and enhance the motor skill of youth participating in sports. Jeniece has already accomplished so much in the first year of the young adult life here at California State University. And I must say that we are so happy to be a part of this portion of your life and wishing you the best. And this African American Heritage Award coming from the Monterey County Branch 1049 of the NAACP. I want to do everything that we can to assist you in pursuing your educational goals or your career. Thank you.
I would like to give out a quick thank you to everybody. As an inactive high school person who wasn't involved at all in high school, coming into college and being active, I really do appreciate it, especially making close connections with our African American Heritage Staff and Faculty Alliance, along with other student staff as well. So I'd just like to thank everybody for just giving us opportunities as students to be involved with leadership on campus.
So next up, we are, Ms. Rhonda Evans is going to present the award from the African American Heritage Faculty Staff Alliance to the marvelous Mrs. Paula Carter.
You're off by one again.
Tell everyone how marvelous you are. to present, pardon me, I've had a career for all day long, so I'm brain dead. Present to Paula Carter this award because when I first came here 9 years ago, Paula wrapped her arms around me because, as we have said, there were 3 of us. So for Paula to come and take me out to lunch and kind of give me the ropes of CSUMB, it really meant a lot to me because there were times where I thought I did not belong here. So I'm going to thank you for that, Paula. So Ms. Paula Carter is the Director of Admissions at Cal State Monterey Bay since 2009, and grew up in the Bay Area. She earned her BA in Political Science from UC Santa Barbara in 1980. She was born in French Camp, California. She is the youngest of 7 children. Her notable jobs before entering the field of higher education was the Peace Corps, where she served in the West Africa, fundraiser for United Negro College Fund, and worked for the American Airlines before transferring to their automation division, Cyber, now used for Travelocity, interesting, as their county executive. Before joining California State University system at Monterey Bay, Paula Carter previously worked for Georgia Perimeter College in Clarkston, Georgia, as a supervisor in the Office of Admission. During her time there with the admissions department, her and her team received the governor's commendation for excellence in customer service. GPC is the 3rd largest institution, university system in Georgia. I didn't know that, serving more than 23,000 through 4 campuses and several sites in metro Atlanta area, which is interesting coming to a smaller college as CSUMB. CSUMB has seen increased enrollments and application numbers over the past 10 years. As Paula worked, she was an intricate part of the growth and development of the admissions office, and we thank you for that. Paula was very instrumental in strengthening the community connection to CSUMB through her restructuring of Super Sunday to Super Saturday in the Monterey area. The Super Saturday events included African American churches, but has widened its outreach to African American community members that may have not attended historically African American churches. Her past guest speakers have included Dr. Ochoa, CSUMB's president, President Mel Nixon, the executive director for the Village Project, Tyler Wilson, Monterey City Councilman, hello, and most recently, Ice Life. I pray that I'm not saying his name wrong. As contributor to Huffington Post, TED Talk, and the New York Times. In this new structure, community members, CSUMB staff, and students are encouraged to support those in attendance who are interested in pursuing a career at CSUMB. Paula Carter is a member of the American Association for Collegiate Registrars, Academic and Student Affairs Council, CSUMB President's Committee on Equity and Inclusion, YAY, CSUMB and the NAACP Educational Committee for Seaside, California. Paula has been married to her husband, James Carter, for 38 years. Rachel Carter, who is a lovely young woman who has completed her undergraduate studies in cinematic arts and technology at CSUMB in May of 2018, is now attending graduate school at Howard University in Washington. Paula Carter.
I'm always saying that I'm not going to say too much, but you get some people like and they just talk. But I'm
I was a child bride, by the way, so. Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, so I've been in admissions since 2009, you heard that, and sometimes you take 10 steps forward and you kind of take a couple steps backwards. But I did want to say one thing. In this time of lower enrollment, people on the campus, such as Rhonda, Brian, are working on building a foundation for the students as we try to increase the enrollment. So those things have been looked at. The other thing I wanted to say was that being on the NAACP Education Committee, where is Princess? Is Princess still? Oh yeah, she made sure we did things every year to give scholarships. And one of the things I learned in that particular committee is that as we were giving scholarships, one of the questions was, what do you know about the NAACP? Thank you, Stephen, for mentioning that it was found in an integrated environment for the advocacy of African Americans, but also for civil rights in general. So I just have to say to you, Matt, if you could find other allies like yourself, no matter what they are, to help strengthen, you know, the possibility of getting the NAACP back on campus. Because we all see right now that there's a lot of civil rights being trampled on for a multitude of people, and whatever we can do to join together. There's a Chinese proverb that says there's strength in numbers. Numbers doesn't necessarily have to mean the same ethnicity, racial complex. It just means we're all experiencing the same thing. So, like I said, you never give me a mic because I'm always going to say something. So, I just want to say that we all need to be strengthened by the oppression that we're feeling in so many different levels. And that's the way we can move forward as a society. So I just want to say thank you so much for this.
Congratulations, Paula. And now we have Darshell again is going to give out some awards from the Black Students United to two of our most marvelous and respected community members.
Good evening once more. So I'll be honoring Alice Jordan and also Joe Watson. Alice Jordan was born and raised in the segregated South, experiencing much of the challenges associated with the civil rights movement. She helped integrate school into Louisiana. She moved from California to Atlanta and the home of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Shirley Chisholm says, service is the rent we pay for the privilege of living on this earth. Alice has proven herself as an icon to this quote, that she lives by. For a decade, she has been a leader in organizing Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s celebration in Seaside that had begun in 1986. This annual program keeps Dr. King's life and legacy alive and emphasizes the importance of community service. The entire community participates in the celebration, including schools, churches, elected officials, and civic and social organizations. Also, the African American speakers traveled from across the country to Seaside to share their experience and expertise and encourage us to make a difference. This celebration is also co-sponsored by Seaside and the Pan-Hellenic Council Monterey Chapter. Alice, through her membership in the Links, Incorporated and Delta Sigma Theta sorority, recruited members of the community, especially minorities, to mentor students at Seaside High School, focusing on leadership, character, and academic success and excellence. This program is kicked off with the freshman class of 2013 and lasted through their senior year. In 2017, graduating students and staff acknowledged the positive impact of the program on the lives of the students, and 4 years of service have been committed. Alice's affiliation with the nonprofit organizations allows her to aid in the presentation of scholarships to many individuals over the years, especially minorities. She was also instrumental in helping to establish CSUMB's Excellent Chapter. I can't read y'all. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. She continues to promote Get Out and Vote. Alice is a member of Seaside I apologize. She has served many leadership roles. She has also served as an advisor to Seaside High School Key Club for over a decade and has been recognized as the best club in the district. She also enjoys sports, traveling, readings, and helping her community wherever there's a need. And she is married to Don Jordan, former mayor of Seaside. On behalf of Black Students United, it gives me great pleasure to present Ms. Alice Jordan with the Social Justice and African American Champion Award for years of leadership with the Martin Luther King Day March and program of her work with the links, including the corporation with the links incorporated, Delta Sigma Theta, Seaside Key Warriors Club, and the Seaside High School Key Club. Congratulations.
I will be very brief. Coming from Atlanta and coming to Seaside was a wide awakening. I got married to John Jordan, and he said, when we got married, you will spend half the time in Atlanta, we'll spend half the time in Seaside. I said, I'll be happy when that half the time gets back to Atlanta. Let me just say why. Because it was a shock for me. In Atlanta, I would say 80% of the people that I saw looked like me. But when I got here, it was totally different. So, being a member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority, my husband said, get involved, you'll like it. You see some other folks that look like you. Get involved. Okay. I got involved. And thank you, Delta Sigma Theta sorority, for supporting Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration. We need to continue doing this based on the environment that we have today. Dr. King and some other famous people said, if you want to make a change, be the change that you want it to be. So I'm saying thank you, young people, for stepping out, for uniting with each other, and trying to make a change, especially on this campus. We're your community. My numbers are listed. I am willing to work with you with the little time that I have. Delta Sigma Theta sorority is willing to work with you. The links are willing to work with you. Kiwanis is willing to work with you. So the various organizations that we have, I'm affiliated with, I came here, I'm a newcomer. They have been so supportive for anything that I wanted to reach out for and to aid the community. And again, I want to say thank you. We have a lot of work to do in this community. And we need young minds like yours. We're getting older. You remember the NAACP said, we need some membership because we are getting older. But again, thank you so much. The Hellenic Council represents 9 sorority fraternities also. They call it Divine and so we are willing to do everything that we can do on this campus. My husband was one of the people that really tried to work to get this campus from. So I say that to say he would support me too. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be able to honor you tonight. I'm also honoring Joe Watson as well. Joe Watson was born in Camden, Alabama on July 21st, 1994. and departed from this earthly life in Monterey on April 20th, 2019. He served in the United States Army, completing his time in Vietnam, and was honorably discharged. Later, he joined his family members residing in Monterey, California, then moved to Seaside, California, where he moved. Joe served his community for 2 terms as the president of the NAACP Monterey County Branch. He also served on the board of directors of the Monterey County Blues Festival and as a UFCW union organizer and supporter. He was a member of the Veterans of Foreign War, as well as several other civic and social organizations in Monterey County. His later years, he took up golf and enjoyed meeting up with his golfing buddies at various courses in the Central Coast in Northern California. He was a member and deacon at the Bethel Missionary Baptist Church in Seaside under spiritual leadership of the late Reverend H.H. Luss Sr. It is a distinct honor to present Miss Annie Watson with this award for her beloved husband, Joe Watson, for his years of service to God.
Well, I'm so glad to see these young people because this is your world. And I'm an old person. I grew up in the Deep South, and I've seen a lot of changes in this world, and a lot of progress we got is trying to be taken away from us. So I want you to stay in the fire and vote. Register to vote. The young people, I want you to do that. I don't want you to lose anything that we gained. We went through the fire to get that.
All right.
Where we grew up, where Joe was born at, the Edmund Pettus Bridge is 30 miles away from our home. And that was not a movie. That was for real. And for real is what? Drinking, going downtown and drinking hot water on a summer day from the colored water fountain. And being a little girl and sneaking around over to that white one and getting some of that cool water and getting off. And Joe, and I think Josh, and a man named Bill Parker, I don't know if they started the labor industry, but they decided that they were going to pick in a store. So the first store they picked was Seaside Market, right by the church. Right by the church. So they were picking it, and so the man knew Reverend Luss, and he called him and said, "Mr. Reverend, what are you guys going to this man?" Joe said, "Well, we need jobs." So they kept picking and picking. So Joe ended up with the job. Joe had worked at Firestone's and Lee's, and they closed down and took their business to Mexico. So Joe and a lot of other men signed up at MPC and took GI Bill. That's what they were taking, GI Bill. So they formed this forbidden, the labor industry, and that's how he got his job. So thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. We're now going to turn it back over to President John Stewart.
Ladies and gentlemen, the president doing all the construction out here, in effect, that we need jobs. Yes, the man is trying to find jobs. Danny, would you come up, please? Give a round of applause for Danny. I want to thank everybody for allowing me to be here, and I think it is so appropriate that I'm here today, and I want to be quick because I know Stevie's here, we got to be out of here at 8:30, so I'm going to be quick. There's probably going to be some questions, so after as time approaches, I'll go in the back. And I also want to acknowledge Councilman Tyler Williams, who's here. So for those of you who don't know, the city of Monterey does have an African American councilman. I do exist. But I think I came here tonight really to ask for the NAACP, and I've seen so many friends support. Next Thursday, KB Bakewell, which is developing what most of you know as Campus Council. And if you drove here, so it was appropriate. You got off on Light Fight and you came up Light Fight, you came to General Jim Moore, turned left, and then right on Inner Garrison. Well, when you got off on Light Fight, all that darkness and old trees and everything on your right-hand side, imagine if you got off there and you had housing and a hotel, and you had restaurants, and you had all of that as you came up Light Fight to General Jim Moore. And then when you got to General Jim Moore, where the old dilapidated Burger King is, and all of the old barracks and everything, and some of the stuff that they just torn down, was more housing and apartment buildings and all of those things, and more restaurants and a shopping center, all the way up to 7th. Well, that is Campus Council. And we have been working on this development now for about 7 years, if I'm correct, Mr. Mayor. And it is probably the most inclusive project that the Monterey Peninsula and certainly Seaside has had. Those of you who participated, about 3 years ago we had a charrette where we brought in hundreds of community residents, including students from CSUMB, who told us all the things they would like to see in that area. That's now this plan that's coming forward now. And the Seaside City Council is going to vote on this project next Thursday at 7 p.m. at Seaside City Council. So I'm here to ask all of you to attend that meeting, to support this project, to support the City Council and the Mayor who helped to get us here. Now, why is that important? Because there's a lot of things that we've been talking about. This is going to be a project that's going to pay prevailing wage. This is a project that is going to provide affordable housing. This is a development that is going to have a lot of and all the things that one of the most significant things that I remember about the charrette was the students at CSUMB. If you think about, I think it's 6th Avenue or 5th Avenue, excuse me, where the student center is and where the bookstore is and all that. One of the things they told us is that we would like to see retail and shops across Kermit Durham along that path. So we don't have to leave and go all the way down. We like to come straight across there. There you go. Well, when you look at this plan, that's there. And that is a direct result of the input from CSUMB students. So again, I ask all of you here to come out next Thursday to support this project, to get this project, to tell the City Council we want this project. This is another part of the conversation. There have been a lot of people who said this project can't happen. It can't happen for all kinds of reasons. Oh, there's not enough water, there's this, there's that. The truth is, that's not coming from the residents of Seaside. That's not coming from the students at CSUMB. So it is important that the people within this community show up and say, this is what we want. This is the things that we like to see. These are the things that we asked for, and we instructed our mayor and city council to bring to them. So I come here tonight to ask you for your support, to ask you to come to city council next Thursday, March 5th at 7 p.m. Probably going to be a long meeting, although the mayor does a very good job of trying to move it along, but it's a heavy agenda. So be prepared to stay. You know, we'll bring some bottles of water or something, keep your energy up. But let's get this project moving, because that's how we progress. That is how we move this campus. we provide resources for these students in this city, and we move our faith on. So I thank you. I'm gonna get out of Stephen's way. Like I said, I'm not leaving. If you have questions, I'm more than happy. I've been to NAACP meetings before. I will be back again. We got a lot of things to do. We gotta get together and talk about how do we recruit people for jobs. We have to talk about how we recruit and help businesses in this community to get contracts. We got to talk about how we qualify people to buy houses, both market rate, both workforce housing, and affordable housing. And we got to talk about how we make sure. One of the things that I have been committed to, and I've said all along, is we have to find a way to create a priority so that the people in this community, in Seaside and at CSUMB, get the first opportunity to access some of these houses. Because when these houses go on the market, other people are going to gobble them up. Most of you who know me, I was also the developer of Seaside Highlands. And I said the same thing to a lot of people. Joe and Andy Watson, they were one of the first people to buy at Seaside Highlands. Because I said, look, if we don't get in the front of this thing, we are going to get boxed out. So I'm here again to ask you. I have some flyers. I'll leave them here. I'll pass them out. Rise and Lisa here will pass them out. We'll be calling you. Several of you I'm going to meet with next week. Alice, I have you on my list of people to come and sit down with. A number of other people in here who are friends. And most important, if you have the time, please show up. Next Thursday night, Seaside City Council, 7 p.m. to support the approval of this environmental impact report to get this project moved. We got a little time before we actually start moving dirt. But step one in doing this is for the city council to approve this project. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Danny. And right now, Steve is anything right? We what time is it?
You got 10 minutes. 9 minutes.
Dad, what type of employees are you going to be looking for coming up?
Look, we're going to be looking for every kind from construction workers, we're going to be looking for people who can work construction, have experience working construction. We'll certainly create some opportunities for some non-skilled workers. I've been talking to Katie Black and some other people in Seaside about helping me to solicit those workers. I'm going to be looking to rely on some CSUMB students to get involved. There's going to be lots of opportunities, and we will continue to always create pools of resources so that the moment somebody needs to hire somebody for something, I want to say, call CSUMB Black Student United and see if they got somebody. Call the NAACP, see if they've got somebody. We'll have, but we're going to have lots of different positions. So, if any of you got, between now and then, got a real estate license, we're going to be selling a lot of homes. We're going to be looking for people, because we want to make sure that all of the things that we do, people, just like there's a developer, very rarely do you find a business owner, a developer who looks like you involved in the project. I want to make sure that all the people who are involved in this project also look like the people of Seaside and look like the people in this room right now.
Okay. Danny, I've already spoken with the county about helping you through your training program. What that will be, whether it could help get the necessary skills, whether they will probably subsidize some of the person wages, especially those people that have been out of job for a period of time. So we're going to be working on that, and also working on making sure that they have the necessary tools, clothing, and things of this nature that it would take on the prerequisites before they can get into their employment area. So we want to work those things out with Dan. Other than that, we really appreciate you. Congratulations to the city council. I never really know. Monterey is beautiful. Yeah, you can take it.
So final word from me. So these program booklets that are like 32 pages long, these are not throwaway items. This is actually history here. We have, so you'll find all of the Black staff that we are aware of that are listed in here. You have many of the Black churches that we have and where they are. So there's lots of information in here. And this is about, again, if we preserve our history and we know this history, we will revitalize our community. So again, I encourage you to get the Black Folks calendar and to come to our meetings. Thank you so much. And please, cake and punch on the way out. Thank you so much.
We want to thank you for coming, and anybody that's not familiar, please take a good application.